Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
The act of arranging and adapting a piece of music. The spatial property of the way in which something is placed. The arrangement of the furniture. The thing arranged or agreed to. They made arrangements to meet in Chicago. A piece of music that has been adapted for performance by a particular set of voices or instruments. An organized structure for arranging or classifying. He changed the arrangement of the topics. An orderly grouping of things or persons, considered as a unit, the result of arranging. A flower arrangement. The act of arranging and adapting a piece of music. The act of arranging and adapting a piece of music. Something written, especially copied from one medium to another, as a typewritten version of dictation. The act of making a record, especially an audio record. A sound or television recording, e.g., from a broadcast to a tape recording. Genetics. The organic process whereby the DNA sequence in a gene is copied into mRNA. The process whereby a base sequence of messenger RNA is synthesized on a template of complementary DNA. The spatial property of the way in which something is placed. The placement of the chairs. The act of putting something in a certain place. Contact established between applicants and prospective employees. The agency provided placement services. The statement, oral or written, of an exchange of promises. They had an agreement that they would not interfere in each other's business. Compatibility of observations. There was no agreement between theory and measurement. The thing arranged or agreed to. Harmony of people's opinions or actions or characters. The two parties were in agreement. The determination of grammatical inflection on the basis of word relations. The verbal act of agreeing. A piece of music that has been adapted for performance by a particular set of voices or instruments. The persons, or committees or departments etc., who make up a body for the purpose of administering something. An ordered manner. Orderliness by virtue of being methodical and well organized. The act of forming or establishing something. The activity or result of distributing or disposing persons or things properly or methodically. A group of people who work together. The act of organizing a business or an activity related to a business. An organized structure for arranging or classifying. The persons, or committees or departments etc., who make up a body for the purpose of administering something. An ordered manner. Orderliness by virtue of being methodical and well organized. His compulsive organization was not an endearing quality. The act of forming or establishing something. He still remembers the organization of the club. The activity or result of distributing or disposing persons or things properly or methodically. His organization of the workforce was very efficient. A group of people who work together. The act of organizing a business or an activity related to a business. He was brought in to supervise the organization of a new department. An organized structure for arranging or classifying. The facts were familiar, but it was in the organization of them that he was original. An ordered manner. Orderliness by virtue of being methodical and well organized. We can't do it unless we establish some system around here. A group of independent but interrelated elements comprising a unified whole. A vast system of production and distribution and consumption keep the country going. A complex of methods or rules governing behavior. They have to operate under a system they oppose. An organized structure for arranging or classifying. He tried to understand their system of classification. A group of physiologically or anatomically related organs or parts. The body has a system of organs for digestion. A procedure or process for obtaining an objective. They had to devise a system that did not depend on cooperation. Instrumentality that combines interrelated interacting artifacts designed to work as a coherent entity. He bought a new stereo system. Physical chemistry, a sample of matter in which substances in different phases are in equilibrium. In a static system, oil cannot be replaced by water on a surface. The living body considered as made up of interdependent components forming a unified whole. Exercise helped him get the alcohol out of his system. The spatial property resulting from the arrangement of parts in relation to each other and to the whole. Musical creation. An essay, especially one written as an assignment. He got an A on his composition. Art and technique of printing with movable type. A musical work that has been created. The composition is written in 4 movements. The spatial property resulting from the arrangement of parts in relation to each other and to the whole. Harmonious composition is essential in a serious work of art. The way in which someone or something is composed. The act of creating written works. Musical creation. A mixture of ingredients. Something that is created by arranging several things to form a unified whole. He envied the composition of their faculty. A condition or position in which you find yourself. The unpleasant situation, or position, of having to choose between 2 evils. A job in an organization. The spatial property of a place where or way in which something is situated. The position of the hands on the clock. The particular portion of space occupied by something. A rationalized mental attitude. An opinion that is held in opposition to another in an argument or dispute. A way of regarding situations or topics, etc. The arrangement of the body and its limbs. The relative position or standing of things or especially persons in a society. Atheists do not enjoy a favorable position in American life. A point occupied by troops for tactical reasons. Put into a certain place or abstract location. The act of putting something in a certain place. An item on a list or in a sequence. Moved from 3rd to 5th position. The post or function properly or customarily occupied or served by another. Cause to be in an appropriate place, state, or relation. In team sports, the role assigned to an individual player. What position does he play? The act of positing, an assumption taken as a postulate or axiom. The appropriate or customary location. The cars were in position. The spatial property of a place where or way in which something is situated. He specified the spatial relations of every piece of furniture on the stage. Supply with provisions. A stipulated condition. He accepted subject to one provision. The cognitive process of thinking about what you will do in the event of something happening. The activity of supplying or providing something. A store or supply of something, especially of food or clothing or arms. The cognitive process of thinking about what you will do in the event of something happening. His planning for retirement was hindered by several uncertainties. An act of formulating a program for a definite course of action. The planning was more fun than the trip itself. The act or process of drawing up plans or layouts for some project or enterprise. The cognitive process of thinking about what you will do in the event of something happening. The act of preparing something, as food, by the application of heat. He left the preparation of meals to his wife. A substance prepared according to a formula. The physician prescribed a commercial preparation of the medicine. Activity leading to skilled behavior. The activity of putting or setting in order in advance of some act or purpose. Preparations for the ceremony had begun. The state of having been made ready or prepared for use or action, especially military action. Their preparation was more than adequate. Preparatory school work done outside school, especially at home. Music. A note that produces a dissonant chord is first heard in a consonant chord. The resolution of one dissonance is often the preparation for another dissonance. A musical work that has been created. A musical work that has been created. A musical work that has been created. Repair by adding pieces. She pieced the china cup. A portion of a natural object. He needed a piece of granite. Eat intermittently. Take small bites of. He pieced at the sandwich all morning. An item that is an instance of some type. He designed a new piece of equipment. A share of something. A period of indeterminate length, usually short, marked by some action or condition. I need to rest for a piece. A musical work that has been created. A work of art of some artistic value. It is not known who created this piece. An instance of some kind. It was a nice piece of work. Create by putting components or members together. She pieced a quilt. A portable gun. Game equipment consisting of an object used in playing certain board games. He sacrificed a piece to get a strategic advantage. To join or unite the pieces of. A serving that has been cut from a larger portion. A piece of pie. A distance. It is down the road a piece. An artistic or literary composition. He wrote an interesting piece on Iran. A separate part of a whole. An important piece of the evidence. Join during spinning. Piece the broken pieces of thread, slivers, and rovings. The people in a society considered as a system organized by a characteristic pattern of relationships. Sociologists have studied the changing structure of the family. A particular complex anatomical part of a living thing and its construction and arrangement. He has good bone structure. A thing constructed. A complex entity constructed of many parts. The structure consisted of a series of arches. Give a structure to. I need to structure my days. The complex composition of knowledge as elements and their combinations. His lectures have no structure. The manner of construction of something and the arrangement of its parts. Artists must study the structure of the human body. Any number of entities, members, considered as a unit. A system for classifying things into groups. The activity of putting things together in groups. A set that is closed, associative, has an identity element and every element has an inverse. Form a group or group together. Any number of entities, members, considered as a unit. Chemistry. Two or more atoms bound together as a single unit and forming part of a molecule. Arrange into a group or groups. Can you group these shapes together? The act of arranging a piece of music for an orchestra and assigning parts to the different musical instruments. An arrangement of a piece of music for performance by an orchestra or band. An arrangement of events that attempts to achieve a maximum effect. The skillful orchestration of his political campaign. The act of arranging a piece of music for an orchestra and assigning parts to the different musical instruments. An artifact, or system of artifacts, that is instrumental in accomplishing some end. The act of providing or using the instruments needed for some implementation. The instruments called for in a musical score or arrangement for a band or orchestra. Changing an arrangement. The spatial property of things that are not properly aligned. Architecture. The arrangement of columns, especially freestanding columns, in a structure. Magnitude or extent. A building of vast proportions. The relation between things, or parts of things, with respect to their comparative quantity, magnitude, or degree. An inordinate proportion of the book is given over to quotations. Harmonious arrangement or relation of parts or elements within a whole, as in a design. Balance among the parts of something. Adjust in size relative to other things. Give pleasant proportions to. The quotient obtained when the magnitude of a part is divided by the magnitude of the whole. Harmonious arrangement or relation of parts or elements within a whole, as in a design. A ratio of two quantities that is constant. A part of a forked or branching shape. A development that complicates a situation. The court's decision had many unforeseen ramifications. The act of branching out or dividing into branches. An arrangement of branching parts.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.